life in Hardenburg.
Hi, Jam with Leroy supporters. Welcome back. As the weather in the Netherlands has shifted and the days are now dark and cold, we are moving most of our videos indoors for a while. The winter edition will take on a discussion format where we will dive into personal experiences of persons living in the Netherlands, especially in Hardenburg. We are excited to share this conversation with you guys and encourage you all to stick with us through this season. It's winter season, it's coming on to Christmas, and it's very cold here. So guys, I'm asking you to stay tuned, keep it locked. Remember to support my YouTube channel by liking, sharing our videos. Yes, guys, subscribe, comment, leave a sweet comment. Thank you, guys. See you guys as you continue to support me in the next video. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Jam with Leroy. Today we have a special guest here in our in Hardenburg, in his home. I'm in Marlon's home now, and he's gonna tell us a little bit of chit chat with him, to find out some of the challenge he have here in as a Jamaican here in the Netherlands. So Marlon, welcome.
Thank you.
So Marlon, tell me, how have it been here since you have been in the Netherlands now, and how long now since you have been living in the Netherlands?
It has been challenging. It has been exciting. It has been better than living in Jamaica. I've been living in the Netherlands since 2018, so that makes it 6 years, exactly 6 years since I've been living here. But living in Hardenburg for 5 years and some months.
Yeah. And tell me some of what you have been through that motivates you to come here to live?
Here as in Hardenburg, or here as in
in the Netherlands?
All right.
Firstly, and then you can tell me about Hardenburg.
So it was a decision that I made from maybe 2016. It was my first time coming to the Netherlands. Fell in love with the country, fell in love with the cold weather. Being a Jamaican myself, living in the tropics for 30 plus years. And then I came to the Netherlands and I was like, wow, this place is cool and nice. It's a place that I think would be useful for me to live in. And so I spoke with my partner and we decided that we were coming here in 2018.
So you actually have been coming to the Netherlands before 2018?
Yes, I came 2016 for work, and then I came back in 2017 for work, and also in 2018 for work. Being on the Red Umbrella Fund PAC was a grand opportunity for me to migrate here. 2018 was our last chance because you spent 3 years on the PAC, and 2018 would have been my last year, and so we made best use of the opportunity that presented itself.
Oh, fine. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
So how was the journey from that there to make this actual decision arriving here?
It was a bittersweet journey. Because first, when I left Jamaica, I didn't leave Jamaica and come to the Netherlands direct. I
Really?
actually went to Guyana, and so I left Jamaica, went to Guyana, was in Guyana for 2 years, and so living in Guyana was an experience in by itself, and after being there in Guyana and seeing the replication of Jamaica, our little tiny island, have influenced everywhere. Seeing the replica of Jamaica also in Guyana, it was a tougher decision to make to leave. It was easier leaving Guyana to the Netherlands than it was leaving Jamaica to Guyana.
Okay. So, okay. Challenges. What are some of the biggest challenge you have adjusting to your living environment in Hardenberg?
All right, so Hardenberg is the population of Hardenberg are predominantly older people. Don't mind older people, you gain wisdom from older people. But because the population is predominantly of older people, they tend to be inside most of the time. And so the culture we come out of in Jamaica and in the Guyana and elsewhere in the Caribbean, where people are hanging out on the corner and you see people everywhere you turn, that kind of a situation don't happen here. Mainly you see people sitting in their houses for 90% of the time. Unless there is an event happening in the town center, you don't see people per se. 80% of the people drives, and 99.9% of the people, they ride their bicycle. So you don't have that connection easily unless you make friends with your neighbors and you go by your neighbors for coffee.
Okay. So I can say, is it safe to say then you have neighbors that are friendly neighbors that you can go for coffee?
Yes.
Okay.
And let me tell you guys, it is interesting, yeah? Every culture that you go into, the most difficult people to make connection with are older people, because them set in them ways. Them not really like foreigners. It doesn't matter if you're a Jamaican and foreigners come in your country, older people don't really gravitate that quickly to anybody other than people they have known for all their lives. And when we moved to this house, I moved into one of the best set of neighbors. One of my neighbor, God rest the dead, she died earlier this year. She would invite me all the time to have tea and to talk about Jamaica and to talk about culture and to talk about food and to talk about the weather, whether it be too hot or it's too cold or it's too rainy. Yeah, that's the national anthem of the Netherlands, is to speak about the weather.
Well, that is interesting, because it's something to note, because I myself sometimes, get the weather discussions.
Yes.
Yeah. Apart from Hardenberg, and have you had lived in any other city?
I've lived in Terapel. Terapel is not a city per se. It is a very small community in the north of the Netherlands. That's where the largest asylum center in the entire Netherlands is. And that's where I went to ask for asylum. And so I lived there for 4 months. Living in Terapel was an experience by itself. The cold food in the evenings that you had to put in the microwave to defrost. Most of the time when you defrost it, you don't know what you're eating because you don't know what it is until it is totally unfrozen. tasteless. That was part of the culture shock with the tasteless food. No salt, no flavor, nothing. It was just, yeah. But it was survival, and so you make do with what you had at the moment. And then when we got the opportunity to cook for ourselves, we went all out and made our cultural food.
So whilst you came in all of that rush, did you get to have, I mean, I know it's far away from Jamaica, but did you have any friends in Jamaica, here in Ireland, who could give you some Jamaican fix or something?
I have a friend, or had, yes, I have a friend who, well, two friends, three friends, but I couldn't find one of them when I just came. But the host of this program, he was one of the persons that I antagonize over and over and over and over. Should I come to the Netherlands? Should I try to go somewhere else, because I don't want to waste my time coming to the Netherlands and then I don't get status and all of that. And another friend living in Amsterdam, I would call and ask, what is the procedure like? What do I need to prepare myself for? But nobody says ever prepare you for the experience, because the experience is dependent on you as an individual. And so when I got into the asylum procedure, I saw Arabs, I saw Africans, some that I didn't even know the names of the countries they were telling me they were from. First time hearing those names, didn't even know where in Africa they were. And yeah, but we had to adjust to coexist together in the space. And in coexisting together in the space, we managed, well, myself and my partner, we managed our expectation of what we ought to get out of living in a space where you really don't have any control, because it's shared. Luckily, we came together, so we didn't have to share rooms. We were always together. But when you come alone, you share a room with people from anywhere and everywhere. And that in itself is another experience. But luckily, we came together. So that kind of eased some of the anxiety and the stress of living in a space with people you don't know.
Yeah, so you could say the experience actually helped to sort of mold you a little bit differently.
Yeah.
To, say, okay, we are here and we have to coexist, and this is life, let's live it, move on.
Yes.
Okay. And the food, now that you have settled in the Netherlands, you have created this lovely, nice environment. This home is so lovely. Guy, I want to change and move to live here.
Really?
Yes. How is the food, the Dutch food? Have you tried them?
Listen, guys. When I came, I hear that I must try stampot.
Really?
And then I, luckily or unfortunately, tried stampot. And I said to Leroy, but stampot is mashed potato.
Yeah, it's much, but I've never tried it though, because for one, I do not eat pork.
Yeah.
And pork is a part of what they do with
guys, it is mashed potato with jumbo sausage thingy.
And they also put one called speck.
Yeah.
Speck is the small pieces of pork that they diced.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And some of our parents, when we're making, some of us who are parents, when we're making mashed potato for children, we would cut the sausage or the franks or the ham strips and so in it to give it that nice little flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something like that.
Okay. So, but apart from that, that one dish, but have you ever eating out in a restaurant, what it's like to try the restaurant scene in the Netherlands, or so. I don't know. I'm just
all right. So
curious.
I'm being honest. When I go to restaurants, I go to Chinese restaurants.
Oh, Chinese
or Asian restaurants. You can't go wrong. If I go to the bars and we order food, I tend to order bitterballen. It is something similar to meatloaf but very smaller, and some of it is made with potato and meat, and some of it is grounded meat. So you can't go wrong there. But to try like soup and those things,
okay. Myself, I've tried restaurants, but yeah.
Yeah, it is an experience in itself.
So,
yeah.
Tell me.
Some of the food here are acquired tastes, and so if you try the food over and over, you will find a few things here that you will actually like, but it's not for the faint of heart.
Oh, so basically it's safe to say Dutch meals or foods they prepare their food blonde.
Yeah, tasteless.
Okay. So, my next question is your Jamaican fix. How do you get your Jamaican product?
Listen, I come from a country where we have a saying, you take your hand and turn fashion. Meaning, we come here, we get the basic flour, rice, chicken, some sort of brown sauce to color the meat, or we do curry, or we burn our sugar to give us that caramel flavor for meat. And we take our hand and turn fashion. We take their own food stuff and make it ours. When I need like ackee and those very delicacy from Jamaica, we order online or we go to Zwolle, which is the capital of the province where I live. There is an African shop there where we can sometimes get the ackee or the gungo or the sorrel. Now Christmas is coming, we will get sorrel there to buy. We get our ginger, we get our salt fish, we get our better pack curry. We get coconut, not the coconut milk that is flavorless, odorless, tasteless, but coconut.
And like how it's Christmas, do you get the J-Ray and
we have to order it online, and it is expensive. It is one of the rarest alcohol to get, and so when you order it online, you have to order it early, because some Dutch people, they also love our Jerry and nephew. They like our Appleton and stuff like that. So if we want those things, we have to order them early.
Okay. So like working with organization, have you been doing that since you've been here?
Yes, I have worked with an organization here in Hardenberg that does work with refugees. When we say refugees, asylum seekers that are in the asylum centers, because there are different levels of refugees in the Netherlands. And the persons who are in the asylum centers, they normally come to these spaces for the Dutch language, to integrate, to meet Dutch people so that they don't feel like they're just tucked away into a corner in a center where they're just by themselves. And so the space creates that engagement where you are able to where you're able to better understand the Dutch culture outside of an assessee.
Okay. So, for example, any work, training, anything like in voluntary era where maybe for those people? Have you done anything like that?
For the persons from the assessee, through the and the SLAP programs.
Oh, okay.
From the STEW.
Okay.
We have engaged persons from the LCC to do volunteer work, where they work with other organizations that works with people with disabilities, work with children, or they have a community area where people just come to learn or relax. We do work with those persons also. And we also work with the LGBTIQA plus community.
Sounds like you have been doing some amazing work here.
I try. Work and engagement and community and giving back has always been a mantra for me. This has been my driving force from Jamaica to Guyana and now in the Netherlands.
So for how many years now have you been working in NGOs in total?
Since 2008.
Since 2008. Oh my God. So you have been doing a marvelous work.
Yeah.
And you continue to do so. And I can see that you are now really settled in and relaxed in the Netherlands.
And no, not settled. Not yet settled. Wherever you are, one of the assurance for settling is having a job, having consistent work.
Oh, consistent work, which is true. Somewhat.
I do manage an NGO, but it's on a voluntary level, and I do occasionally work, but it's a zero contract, and so they call you when work is available.
Okay.
And that in itself, it is disastrous, because when you are working and then in the middle of the month you don't have any work, then you don't have any money to clear the bills at the end of the month, because the municipality, they have on record that you are working, and so once you're working you are not entitled to social benefits. And so if you're short with your own work salary, then you're in trouble.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Well, is it better here in terms of I know in Jamaica you had permanent jobs, but here you have temporary jobs, and so but is it the living condition, the standard of living?
Standard of living in the Netherlands is better than the Jamaica I left, and I say that because I keep a track of what is happening in Jamaica, and from the outside looking in, guys, my home country is positioning themselves to be better than the Jamaica that I left.
Okay.
But standard of living here in the Netherlands is better than in Jamaica. There are programs, there are schemes in place where if you're not working, the government helps to offset some of your expenses, and for you to have a basic standard of living. Whilst in Jamaica, there's no program of such. Yes, you can get help from the municipalities in Jamaica, but it's minimal, and it barely scratches the surface of the minimum standard of living.
Yeah.
Because when I say minimum standard of living and comparison with Jamaica, here in the Netherlands, the government will give you enough money to pay your rent, to buy your food, to pay your health insurance. Whilst in Jamaica, you get the basic minimum to maybe buy food for 2 weeks.
But is health insurance compulsory here?
It's compulsory in the Netherlands. It is not compulsory in Jamaica.
Okay. So that is a plus.
Yes. And however, for basic healthcare in Jamaica, you don't pay when you go for basic healthcare. And with basic healthcare in Jamaica, it's also you getting generic type drugs,
Yeah.
basic. I thought coming to the Netherlands, things would have been different. However, when you pay the insurance, it covers your basic healthcare. And when you start getting medication and the medication is a little pricey, the health insurance will write you and tell you, you can't get this drug, or else you will have to pay for it yourself. You have to get this generic drug.
Yeah, and that's the insurance people. We know how they do their thing.
Yeah.
They make a kill and they give us some.
Yeah.
You know?
But one of the things that they also do here is you pay for your own risk. And so it is in addition to the health insurance, where if you have chronic illnesses and you need to go see the specialist, that money covers that. The basic insurance covers just your general practitioner.
But isn't the municipality in Adenberg or some other municipalities do give an incentive or a percentage on your insurance if you have a chronic illness?
In Hardenberg, no. What they do here, if you are with the health insurance that they advise you to use, then they pay 10% of the cost for the basic insurance.
Okay, that's for persons who have chronic.
No, for everybody.
For everyone.
Yes.
Oh.
Once you're on the outcaring is social benefits. Once you're on the social benefits, the community pays 10% of your health insurance.
Okay. Yeah, well, I know something like that, but I'm not sure.
Sorry, guys. Community means municipality.
Municipalities. Because he's a Dutch scholar, so he keeps.
I'm not a Dutch scholar.
He keeps using Dutch word. You notice I don't use one because I'm not a
Dutch scholar. I went to school here. I learned the language, and so when you are in Rome, you do what the Romans do, and so at times it is easier to say the Dutch word, because unfortunately I have lost some of my English words.
Yes, even for me, some of my English spellings is gone. I can't even spell sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving along, Marlon, really, this is inspiring. What message would you have for someone in Jamaica or anyone anywhere else in the world who feels like they need to make a change for themselves?
Go for it. Go for it. However, be prepared. Moving into somebody else's country, it's not for the faint of heart. It's not a bed of roses. There are rules and regulations that must be followed. Some of us, we came for asylum in the Netherlands, and we make work our priority, and with this country, going to school to learn their language is a part of the priority and should be the first priority after getting your asylum status to stay. It should be a part of your priority to go to school to get that certificate, because that certificate then that makes the determination whether you get to stay here indefinitely and whether you are allowed to become a Dutch citizen. There are rules that are very red, there are rules that are very green, and there are rules that are very gray. My advice, once it's green, stay there. Don't go in the gray and the red at all, because depending on who you are dealing with, the gray quickly turns red.
Yeah, and it's for the Netherlands. They say allemaal regels in the Netherlands, meaning everything here carry rules.
Yes.
There are rules, and more rules.
Yes.
Anyway, we love the rules. I love the rules. I like to stick by the rules.
Yes.
So that was very beautiful, Marlon, and thank you for sharing such a wonderful story.
It was my pleasure.
You know, and what is your parting word to young people anywhere in the world? Because you're a young man, you're not an old man like me. You know,
I feel old. Okay. For young people, especially for the Gen Zs.
Oh, please stop that Gen Z story. Just say the young people.
For especially the Gen Zs, life is short.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take everything serious. Just live.
Yeah.
For persons who wanting to do an asylum procedure, be prepared. Don't go into other people's country with high expectations. One, you did not leave anything or contribute anything to the country, so that's my opinion. I think it's unfair for you to expect from somewhere where you did not sow.
Fair enough.
Yes. And it has been a pet peeve of myself and Leroy for a number of years, and that's part of why we encourage people to volunteer. When you go into countries, don't just go sit and fold your hand, because if you were in your own country, you would have to get up and go work.
Yeah. Because even when the neighbors mangoes in Jamaica, don't think all the time you can pick it.
Yes. But you still have to work for it because it's over the fence.
Right. You know?
Yeah.
So, Marlon, thanks again for sharing. And
it was my pleasure.
I love your house. It's so cozy and nice. And maybe we can think about a change. You can go up at 48 and I come back down here. Right? I want to thank everyone, today for this, who have tuned in and listened to this episode. And I also want to say to my audience, this is Leroy again, and my YouTube channel. I would like you to like, share, and subscribe. For those who have not subscribed, you can do so. Please come out and watch the videos. Watch them to the full. And thank you again. Thanks for the support, guys. See you again in our next video, jamming with Leroy in Hardenberg. So, and then we will sometimes move from Hardenberg, but guess what? We won't tell you. You have to check for the next video. There you will find us on that location. See you guys in the next video.
When it tastes of Jamaica to the world.